Morning, this is Brian. Today is Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. My friend Brett and I.
Hello, guys.
Is Brett. Been a while. It's been a while since we met up. We're getting ready to hike up the Pacific Crest Trail here in the Southern Sierras. We're at Walker Pass right now. So we're at an elevation of 5,240 feet. Now you might remember that I did a hike in this area back in 2019. One day in early April, hiked up that way to Scodie Mountain, and then the next day I hiked up to Owens Peak in April of 2019. Well, April of 2022, my friend and I are going up the Pacific Crest Trail again. But today, he and I are not planning to go all the way to Owens Peak, but it's already about 10 o'clock, 10:15 in the morning. We were going to try to go to Pinyon Peak in the Scodies, but got out a little bit late. Yeah, it was just hard to find a really good route. So it's something we would still want to start earlier. So today, we're going to do a relatively shorter hike today. We're going to be heading up this way. Well, we're going to be on the PCT. We're going to hike along the PCT. Then we're going to break off. We're going to visit peak 6366, which is way above that. And another peak called peak 6529. Well, so we're going to be hitting two very random peaks here at the southern tip of the Sierra Nevada. So we're about to have a really interesting day today. It's a nice, cool, nice, beautiful late Sunday morning. I'm looking back over towards Scodie Mountain that I did in 2019. It was a very hard hike.
I don't know if I could do that.
Basically, what I did on that day is I was parked down that way a little bit, about 4,800 feet. I followed an alluvial fan, eventually linked up with an old overgrown Jeep track, followed to the base of the canyon underneath Scodie Mountain, and then ended up going cross country, ended up going all the way up to that notch right over there. And then I went around and found Scodie Mountain Peak behind it. One of the hardest hikes I've ever done. So today is probably going to be quite a bit shorter hike, but we're looking at a little bit of a climb. We're going to be going up the PCT. We're going to look for the ridge line to get up to peak 6529. Then we're going to follow along that ridge. Might follow across country to get to 6366, which is up there somewhere. And then maybe go down cross country to rejoin the Pacific Crest Trail. So where we are is the Owens Peak Wilderness, Bureau of Land Management. This is not a National Forest wilderness. It's a Bureau of Land Management wilderness. So let's see. Here's the sign for it right here. So it's Bureau of Land Management, not National Forest Wilderness. So some people have seen my videos from before, may recognize some of this. Only difference is, 2019, this whole area was covered in wildflowers because that was a really good rainy year. This year was certainly not one of them. It was not a good rainy year this year at all.
Yeah, it was pretty dry.
Nah. Well, for California junipers, sometimes they can switch genders.
Oh, right.
Because they are dioecious.
Right.
So a female juniper has been known to turn into a male during more stressful times like drought, for what I've read somewhere.
So winds won't produce their seed if the...
No. So what would normally be a female juniper might occasionally produce male pollen cones, and male pollen cones only. So they can switch genders, believe it or not. It's kind of a defense mechanism, especially in leaner times like now. So some female junipers can switch to male. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to follow this. It's going to go around the side below peak 6366, and then it's going to arch around. Then eventually we're going to hit a series of switchbacks. At the top of the switchbacks is where we're going to look for a cross-country route to get up to 6529. So we're going to keep hiking, and I'll see you on clip number 2.